Welcome back to another episode of Brick Off, the LEGO building competition where two YouTubers go head to head in a speed building environment. The rules are simple. We have 1 hour to complete the build. The theme is LEGO Star Wars, and pretty much everything has to be built in this video. Some small pre-builds are allowed. DaleyBricks, with that, are you ready to go down?
I'm the Star Wars guy, man. If I should win any, it should be this one.
If you don't win this one, though, it's even more embarrassing. It's future Scott here. We've got to the end of the video, and I've realized that I left this stupid overlay on for the entire video. So, professionalism, I know it was being used to make sure that I was lined up in the middle, but let's carry on with the video. I can't believe it. Once again, I'm going to put the 1 hour timer neatly behind me here, and today I'm going to change things up. I've been criticized for having no story whatsoever in my build, so I'm going to do it story first. Let me show you what I mean. I'm not going to be using this as a pre-build, but I want to use this just so I can explain what I'm going to do and how there's going to actually be story this time. And so just to keep you absolute Muppets happy, this is going to be a battle on Hoth between Darth Vader and C-3PO. Now, as you can see, they're both in a summertime getup. Sorry, not summertime, they're in a Christmas getup. Now, again, I'm not going to use this pre-build, but this is what this battle is supposed to be. Both C-3PO and Darth Vader have been on holiday, and then they bumped into each other, and old rivals, they've gone at it. And little did we know that C-3PO, in fact, actually has a double-ended lightsaber like Darth Maul. In fact, he's actually a Sith. I told you I'm going heavy on the story this time to keep you happy in the comment section so that I can win this brick off. Now, that's not the only story element that we're going to go for here. I'm really going to rub it in DaleyBricks' face, and I'll show you what I mean. DaleyBricks actually gave me this LEGO Star Wars Hoth set. Oops. It's like kind of an army building thing. I'm going to use the LEGO set that DaleyBricks gave to me to beat him in a speed build competition. I think that's just an extra little bit of salt in the wound.
All right, boys, let's roll. Now, I did spill some coffee when I put this base plate down, so that's a little extra flavor on there. Delicious. Oh, hell no! Okay, so Scott has been criticized about not having pretty much any minifigures on any of his builds recently, so I think he is going to be going pretty hard in the paint minifigure-wise, and that means I have to go a little bit harder in the paint build-wise because my builds are always terrible, and I don't want to be a hypocrite and criticize Scott for having no minifigures when my builds are pretty bad. Although people seem to think I was improving last time, so let's improve upon that. First of all, we're building a little bit of a Star Wars room here, very, inside of a Venator type beat, I guess you could say. We're just kind of winging it. I want to do Order 66 because Order 66 is goated with the sauce. And so I want to build a little area for the staging of our Order 66 here. So I'm going to continue to lay down these tiles.
Now, like I said, there's not just going to be one story element here. There's also going to be another, and it's that this rebel pilot has actually crash landed, and then we've got two rebel soldiers going to try and save him, and they will be pursued by stormtroopers. Now that I've done some story, let's start building terrain for 1 hour. Oh, God. Right, so what we've got here is we've got all of these white plates. I've also got white wedges. I'm not sure if I'll use the wedges yet. Let's keep this relatively simple. Cut back to this when I overcomplicate it, Carly. you know what to do.
Okay, there's our tile floor. I like it. Now we gotta build some walls around this. I'm gonna use gray because it's a ship, so yeah. Okay, this is looking pretty sweet right now, I will say. So we're gonna have our Jedi sort of cornered here, I think. Now, we gotta pick out a Jedi. And naturally, we're going with High Jedi Bob from BrickTactical.com, baby. Yes! Yes!
Oh, this looks so bad. Why does this look so bad? It's not like the plates haven't actually it's like peeling up at the edges. Okay, hold on, but here's what I'm gonna do. Oh my God, why am I like this? Okay. I know I just spent almost 10 minutes with that. I'm going to not do that because it just wasn't working how I thought it was gonna work, okay? Instead, I'm gonna build my own base plate. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start using some of these bricks over here, these white bricks. And I'm going to build up a separate area because we're going to have two separate battles going on. One of the battles will be C-3PO and Darth Vader. The other one will be a crash landing site where this pilot's gone down. They're trying to rescue the pilot and the stormtroopers are attacking them from this direction. That's kind of roughly what I'm thinking. So first I've got to build up a bit of a cliff to separate the two areas out.
Okay, now, I have a lot. I broke my light. No! Bruh. I don't have multiple, like, butthole cameras like Scott does, so I have to move my one camera around if you guys want to see things. Sorry. As I was saying, we've got a ton of really nice custom lightsabers in here to use. I think he should have green because, you know, he's a green Jedi. And we've got a really cool custom Brick Tactical molded lightsaber for him, so go ahead and equip that on our boy there. Beautiful. Now, I kind of think it would be cool if we had Jedi Bob here, almost like Ram Koda. Now, Ram Koda during Order 66 actually was relatively safe because he had this thing called Koda's Militia, which would become the backbone of the rebellion in the future. He distrusted clones, and I think we should have Ram Koda kind of in the same boat. If you've never played The Force Unleashed, I highly recommend it. So we're gonna have a couple of these troopers here, these fleet troopers for the rebels, helping Bob defend against clone troopers who are boarding his ship. Just to add a little more spice, a little more lore to the battle. Now, I've got my custom weapons here as well. These are a mix of Brick Tactical, Brick Mania, some brick arms in there. We even have like some cool E-Web turrets and stuff like that. But we're gonna pick out some clone trooper weapons like DC-15As as well. Well, there's an E-11, that doesn't really work. We need some rebel weapons, which I think I have less of, but I can spend some time finding them because we still have 44 minutes left. So we're actually doing pretty well on time here. All right, let me go find those.
Okay, so this is our kind of raised, elevated area at the back. What I'll do is I'll then get some like some gray around here to make it look like a rocky kind of cliffy area. But for the time being, just to show you that I do actually intend on placing minifigures, let's get these two locked in battle, shall we? So Darth Vader and C-3PO. I hate it. Okay, so in case this wasn't clear, we've got C-3PO over here and Darth Vader. Those two will be going at it, and that's going to be one area of conflict. I'll get some like cliffs down here to make it look like its own area. And then the crash site will probably be somewhere down here. And then I'm going to use the set that DaleyBricks actually gave to me to give stormtroopers. Stormtroopers will be giving chase from this direction towards these guys getting their casualty to safety. That's the game plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just like roughly mark out the area just so we get an idea of like how much space that we need. So let's say that the casualty is there, and then we've got maybe this guy is dragging him to safety, doing a cheeky little Kazi back, and the other guy could maybe be shooting to cover his retreat, I would say. Would make some sense. So there you go. That's going to be like the rough area of things. Now we need to figure out where the stormtroopers are going to be. We need to actually build the crash site itself, and also probably do a bit more detailing on the terrain too. So let's get started with that. And first thing I'm going to do is going to try and build up this cliff area here by using these bricks to make it look like a visually distinct region to some degree.
Took a little bit of digging, but we did manage to find an A280 here, which is perfect, actually. We have 3 Rebel Fleet Troopers here. This guy, obviously, he's got a mustache, so he is the captain now. We'll give him the big boy weapon, and then the other 2 will have pistols. Since there's not a ton of space on this mock, I think that kind of works. Yeah, we can have him sort of guarding Jedi Bob there. Well, it's Jedi Bob. He shouldn't be getting guarded. He should probably be doing more or less the guarding, you know? So he'll be out here kind of deflecting. Then we'll have him off to the side there, firing away. And then there's a cool thing people do with minifigures where they like rip their legs off and have them kneel. I'm gonna try and figure out how to do that. Ah! Okay, I'll be right back.
So hopefully you can see what I'm going for here. I want these two guys to be fighting on a stage rather than just a bit of elevated ground. They're going to be fighting on this like raised cliff area, so it means that we have like a big showcase like battle here. And then what's taking place on the rest of the build is kind of its own individual thing rather than all just kind of blending into one. So now what I need to do is I now just need to basically fill in the gaps here and finish off that little rocky outcrop. Oh, also some small pre-builds are allowed, and I do have this thing here from like a Christmas set at some point, and also this guy over here too. So what I'll probably do is like maybe try and make it look like these are off in the distance somewhere, like or maybe I put them like, maybe I could put them down over here. I don't know. We'll figure that bit out later on. I'm not too worried about it for the time being.
Oh, that actually looks really good there. So basically you have to put the legs on backwards, detach one leg, and then have that one leg sitting up. That looks really good though. I like that. And then I want our last dude to be dead. So we have to figure out like a nice way to have him dead. Maybe we should have Darth Vader on the battlefield. You know, maybe he could be like decapitated over here or something like that, and then have Vader over this way. I don't know. I'm gonna go find some clones as well as Vader.
A few moments later.
All right, I found Darth Vader here, and then on top of him, we've got a couple of our 501st boyos here. Now, these guys are known as Vader's Fist, so, you know, they fought a lot as Phase 3 clone troopers, which was a thing introduced from The Force Unleashed. It was the stage between Phase 2 and becoming full-on stormtroopers. Now, these guys would still be using Clone Wars weapons, so we'll start equipping them with said weapons. I think we have one alive and then one dead. So we'll kind of like have this dude here charging on in, and then the other guy will have already died on the battlefield. And then we need to put a weapon near his body. Perfect. Now, what I want to do with Vader over here is we have this room on the left side. So I want him to be having his lightsaber raised against Jedi Bob here. But then I want his left hand to be force choking our rebel friend on the left. Now, there are, of course, like invisible, aka translucent pieces. I just have to find one. We still have 28 minutes on the clock, so I do have a lot of time to go find one. I don't know if I have exactly the piece I'm looking for. I'm hoping I do, so we can have this guy getting force choked in the air, which would be really cool.
Okay, so this is the landmine that the pilot for some reason will have stepped on, which is why he is in need of recovery from his allies. We'll get him, I'll find a place for him to slot in. I'll say like somewhere like that. I don't know, he stepped on a landmine. You can see bits of dirt's being kicked up and moved around, and his allies will be coming in to support him. But before we do that, let's first get a little bit of like fire and smoke on there. See what we can do with that, I guess. Which means I'm gonna treat you to actually seeing my other room where my new Lego storage system has been organized. In here I have got a massive amount of Lego. It goes down. There's even more. It's just Lego absolutely everywhere in this room. And I'm rebuilding my old childhood Lego sets, and this is a tree building tutorial which I will be releasing, none of which is relevant to this video. However, what is relevant is this here. This is what I'm looking for. We're going to try and use this to get some smoke and some explosions onto the build, and we'll probably be back here soon to get some more little bits of like detailing, and maybe, I don't know, we'll be back here soon, I'm sure. Okay, right, so let me talk you through what I've done here. I don't even know what I've done here. The pilot, for some reason, has stepped on a landmine. He has lost an arm and is bleeding out. There's still smoke coming out of the area. One of these guys is trying to casualty evacuate, and then the other guy is going to try and support and stop the enemy from getting to him again. For some reason, there's also just this little battle taking place on the hill, which, you know, don't ask too many questions.
I found this, which is kind of what I was looking for. I was looking for the translucent version of this, but could not find it for the life of me. However, I found something maybe a little bit better. This is from the Spectre Ghost minifigure, but it could kind of look like, you know, the Force, I guess. And it does actually stick on his feet, so I think this kind of works. But he doesn't really look very much like he's getting Force choked here. So we're gonna take his head off, and I have this, which also, you know, it doesn't quite look like he's choking. I don't have a choking minifigure head, believe it or not. But at least this way he's like kind of bloodied, scared, war-torn, you know, the whole thing. So we'll have him like, we could stick him over this way. Perfect. So now he is getting force choked. I think we gotta raise Vader's hand a little bit. Ah, that looks good. And then let's have Jedi Bob like a little bit more engaged with Vader, so their sabers are actually clashing. I know that's not Vader's saber. I could not find my Vader saber, but looks kind of like it, I guess. And we do need to add a gun to the ground there that the guy dropped as he was getting force choked. Hold on, we gotta like readjust the faces. There we go, just a little added detail so like everyone's engaged on the battle and like facing the correct way, and we've killed a rebel. Oh lord. There we go.
Okay, I want to make sure I don't repeat the same mistake, so what I'm now going to do is we're going to move on to placing some more minifigures. And again, remember, these are the minifigures that Daley gave me in this set, so I'm going to use Daley's gift to destroy him in Brick Off episode 4. And again, you will choose who wins. So these are specifically, like, they are actually specifically Hoth minifigures. I think I've got a good few of them here as well, which actually kind of makes sense, which is, I guess, partly why I decided to do this. So we're going to get all of these guys down, and again, they're going to be in hot pursuit of the casualty over here. What I'll end up doing with, like, my remaining time is I'll start trying to spend it, as much of it as possible, on, like, detailing, to try, because otherwise this looks a bit too white, looks a bit too boring. It's what, one or two tone. It needs to have a little bit more of something to really sell it, I think.
I actually think this looks excellent. Nice little shipboarding Order 66 type beat. It's a little cramped. Maybe if we like shift a couple fellas around more so. Yeah, I think that's a little better because now they're less kind of stacked all on top of each other. It gives a little bit more breathing room to the battle. But honestly, I don't really want to overdo it. I think sometimes adding too much stuff in the past has actually affected my builds more than helped them. So I think this is good. Vader engaging with Jedi Bob while simultaneously force choking this boy. And I think the force effect actually works really well. Kneeling trooper over here with a blaster and another rebel over here who has presumably just shot down that clone trooper while this clone trooper engages. This is nice. I like this. Let me know what you guys think.
With 7 minutes remaining on the clock, what we have got here is we've got Darth Vader and C-3PO having their final duel at the top. We've got some Hoth guns over here, which are supposed to be way in a distance, and they're in support of this casualty as they're trying to drag him to safety with stormtroopers in hot pursuit. Now, I've still got 7 minutes on the clock here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend that time adding a bit of detailing, because at the moment, oh, I've accidentally hit one off. At the moment, it looks just too bland, too white, too boring, but there is at least some story here. Maybe what I could do is I can slap down some of these. That's what I'm going to do, and at this point, I'm just going to put them down, and I'm just going to trust the process. I'm just going to assume this is working, and I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not going to double think it. I'm just going to place them down, and I'm going to hope for the best. 1 minute left. Let me talk you through what I've done. Over here, you can see we've got one guy, a pilot, for some reason has stepped on a landmine. Don't ask too many questions, just believe the story. And then we've also got C-3PO and Darth Vader, who have been locked in mutual combat, mortal combat rather, because they bumped into each other whilst they were on vacation, and holiday, 'tis the season, I don't know, they're fighting on a hill, they've got a cliff. In hot pursuit, we have got 5 stormtroopers trying to hunt down the casualty and eliminate him before he can be taken off to safety. We've also then got 2 Hoth guns in the background here. We'll now cut to DaleyBricks.
All right, let's see what Scott built. Oh, he went with, what the? Scott, what did you do? Bro, someone bought the advent calendar. Oh my god. Okay, so we went with like a Hoth build. Interesting. Okay. So we have a pilot who's been shot, and it looks like they're still getting shot. Is that his arm? And it looks like those are like tufts of snow from laser fire, maybe? The goggles just don't look good like that, but that's okay. I understand what he was going for, and you know, that is what they're meant for. It just, it always looks so weird. That's a Lego thing, not a Scott thing. I like the snow he did. That's a great build technique. That's awesome. And then, okay, we got some mini turrets here. These are definitely from the advent calendar. So we've got this is a dish turret, and that's a beam turret, I believe. They look very bizarre here because they're micro scale builds. I think it would have been better to just leave those out. Okay, we got some snow troopers heading in and a scout trooper who does not have a blaster. And then we have C-3PO dual wielding a blue-green lightsaber in his Christmas sweater against Beach Darth Vader from the advent calendars. And there's some greenery in the snow. What happened, Scott? This is so weird. This shot is sick. The rest is interesting, to say the least. I really like this. I think this is dope. And then it kind of all went downhill from there. I feel like it would have been a little cooler if he had made it smaller, gotten rid of the random plants and the micro turrets, and then just had it be like half of the base plate in the back with a duel going on. I take it he doesn't have any actual Jedi, maybe? but a duel going on top of the rock with the rebels and snowtroopers pushed closer to the rocks. I think that would look cooler. Right now it looks just very spaced out awkwardly and just kind of random stuff everywhere. But still, you know what? Nice build, Scott.
Okay, let's find out if DaleyBricks has beaten my LEGO Star Wars masterpiece. Something fell off, I don't know what it is. Alright, so it looks like Daley has made some sort of I'm not sure who he's supposed to be, but he's made Darth Vader attacking some sort of area. Oh, is he supposed to be floating from Force Choke? Oh, okay, that's a nice little detail. Also, nice detail on lightsaber, but I don't think he gets bonus points for that, let's be honest. Okay, I mean, it's a relatively, for Daley, it's a relatively capable build. In fact, actually, dare I say, for Daley, it's a very good build. But I feel like I might have more story. And also, this took 1 hour? Really? Like, I feel like I could maybe do this in like 10 minutes. But hey, it's up to you. You decide who wins Brick Off Episode 4. Who do you think did better in this LEGO Star Wars speed building competition with only 1 hour to build? There will be a community poll. Make sure you vote. Did DaleyBricks win? Or, obviously, did I win?